let me just get up into the picks. I ain't got to explain everything, right? So when you look at this game right here, and I picked the Falcons to win this game. I thought that that Falcons offensive line was going to hold up a lot better against the Chargers defense. I honestly did. I thought that BJ Robinson would be able to get off a little bit better than what he had, and it just didn't happen like that. And the Chargers defense has been stingy. They are playing very well under Coach Harbaugh. Um, I get Jim and John mixed up all the time, so I'll just say Harbaugh, right? And they look very good. The Chargers look good, man. They were able to hold Atlanta under Kirk Cousins with that offense, the way that he moves that ball. I don't think that he spread the ball around a lot. Drake London obviously is a beast. He's very underrated. I think, well, at this point, you gotta look at Drake London, but he just gets open. He finds the those pockets in the defense in the zone. He sits in them. He's good on man-to-man coverage. 50-50 balls. Drake London is just a good receiver, man. He really is. I thought that Kyle Pitts should have been a little bit more involved in this game. That's just me though. And the reason why is because when you look at Justin Herbert, he gets guys going like Joshua Palmer, he gets him going. Lad McConkey went off in this game. I think he went ahead like over 100 yards receiving in this game. Gus Edwards didn't have the biggest game, so Justin Herbert, they put the team on his back and he went out there, threw the ball around and played good defense. And the Chargers are, believe it or not, they're one of the teams in the AFC right now to where you're looking at, and you may be saying like some people say that the AFC is wide open. I don't won't say that the AFC is wide open right now at this point, but I'm looking at the Chargers as being one of those wild card teams right now. And I do think that the AFC is tougher than the NFC right now. I honestly do. It's going to be a gauntlet to try to make it through the AFC. I mean, but once we get the playoff picture for the NFC, then I think that we'll put a lot more respect upon the NFC and saying that, okay, these are the best of the NFC teams. The AFC, there's a lot of great good teams around. But I thought the Falcons may pull this one off at home, and I was wrong on that one. I think this is the only one that I was wrong on all week. Shout out to me. And they lost by 3. They lost by 3. So um, but at home, I don't think that you could take those kind of losses, Falcons, and I'm sure the Falcons fans are pretty upset about that. But I'm gonna move on to the next game, and the next game that I had up was the Indianapolis Colts and the Patriots. Shout out to this game, bro. It went down. This game went absolutely crazy, bro. Like this game, I really liked it. But look, I must say this: like Anthony Richardson, bro. Like they played tough defense, but look, the Patriots are getting better every week. They're improving. I will say this: Patriots, they are improving every week. They're still a young football team over there. Gerard Mayo, rookie head coach, even though he's been around the game and it was a great defensive player, that team is starting to buy in. You're seeing Drake May become coming into his own. He's starting to get the hang of the NFL, and watch out because Drake May is going to be something to reckon with. He could move. He can make the throws, you know, uh, and his awareness on an offense is crazy. And I think that what makes a quarterback even more dangerous. You have to be able to run. I don't care if you run a lot as a quarterback in NFL, but you have to be an athletic quarterback. You got to be able to make all the throws and not pass, but you have to be athletic enough to make plays with your feet in the NFL. It's just hands down. It's just the way that the position has evolved that quarterback. Now, granted, if you can have a quarterback, um, Jameis Winston, I say, is the cutoff limit. I will say that's the cutoff. Anybody slower than Jameis Winston, I don't think that that's good. You want a statue at quarterback. I don't think that your team would win games if he's in a elite brain like Peyton Manning, Tom Brady ish brain. If you got one of those type of, you know what I mean. But if you cannot move, and manipulate the pocket or make plays with your feet and open up plays downfield for the receivers. I don't think that that's make for a good quarterback. And Anthony Richardson to me is I don't understand how a professional quarterback can throw for under 150 yards in a game when you have all professional receivers. I don't care where they were, what round they were drafted in. They made it to the league. These are the 1% of football players that have hit the football genetics lottery or has made it to that professional level. The best football players in the world are playing for the NFL or play in the NFL. You have they all are all professionals. Period. Period. Elite speed, elite route running, elite hands. One or the other these guys have. If you cannot complete passes to those elite guys, that is a problem. That's a problem. I don't even know if that's sustainable in Indianapolis. Yeah, you're gonna get past a Patriots team who is still learning a lot about themselves. And by the way, almost lost that game. They only won that game by a point. But I did get the pick right, and I did go with Indianapolis. I thought Anthony Richardson would have a better game. They had his over or under at 186 yards, and he still could not get 186 yards passing in a professional football game with a Donnie Mitchell, Michael Pittman Jr., Alec Pierce. These are all playmakers. He got some nice ass playmakers at starting receiver. That's not even the guys that's depth at receiver for the Colts. And you mean to tell me that you couldn't get 186 yards passing in the air on a Pats? And no disrespect to the Patriots because they came to play, but still, that's crazy to me. And Drake May played a hell of a game. Drake May played a hell of a game. I thought the Patriots look good. Their run game looks good with Ramondre Stevenson back there taking those handoffs. And look, I did get that pick right, but man, by the skin of the teeth. And I do not like the way that the Colts won that game. That is not sustainable for the Colts at all. You will not get far in the AFC playing that way. You will not. It will not happen. All right. This was a divisional game. That was like a rivalry too. The Colts and the Patriots was like a rivalry game too. It started with Peyton Manning and Tom Brady. It became a rival, so it is a rival in the AFC. It's not a division rival, but a rival nonetheless. So, well, to me, that's when it started. There's probably a bigger history than that. Kids, look it up. But to me, I grew up watching Peyton Manning and Tom Brady going at it, and I'm talking about those are some of the greatest Colts and Patriots games that I've watched when Tom Brady and Peyton Manning went head to head. So we got the Texans and taking on the Jaguars at home. There's a controversy with a huge hit with this in this game, man. And look, I must say that when you when you as a football player run into a situation such as what happened, excuse me, Trevor Lawrence. Excuse me, y'all. I'm catching like my nose be getting a little stuffy or whatnot. But you run at full speed and then you take a hit. That doesn't work. Like, hold up. Let me just go ahead and play none other than my guy, right? I'm gonna go ahead and play my guy, man. I love Rex Ryan, man. Rex Ryan jumped all over this. I love Rex, man. He's definitely a coach that I would love to play for if I was a professional athlete, man. Rex Ryan, he tells it like it is. He don't sugarcoat ish. The dude is great, man. He's awesome, man. So I'm gonna get it pulled up here. Got it on my X, as y'all all know. Y'all know how I like to do things sometimes. I gotta get my screen right though. Yeah, get the screen right or whatnot. Then I'll pull it up on the X.
On the field and a defender's coming full
So
speed.
here you go.
You got to learn how to protect yourself. And I'm going to tell you right now, obviously it was a.
So I'm gonna go ahead and play a couple of seconds of this because I will get copyrighted for it if I don't you know what I mean? So I'm gonna play a couple of seconds and I'm gonna let it pause.
Yeah, you got to learn how to protect yourself. And I'm going to tell you right now, obviously it was a dirty hit. I am so sick and tired of seeing people teach, hey, slide. When you're running out here, you slide. The hell you do, not when you're going full speed down the field.
You hear it? That's it. And that's all I need to play it at. I don't think I need to go into detail too much more about what just happened there and what Rex Ryan was about to get up into. I don't think I need to play anymore. That says it all right there. You do not need to slide when you are going full speed into your full speed on the field. There's absolutely no reason to go into a slide when you're running full speed towards a defender like that. At that point, you got to take that 6'5" frame, 220 plus pound body to and observe the hit and take the hit, right? See, and you got to be able to do that. I don't know why in the world you do that. So if he pulls up, if Alshon, it was a dirty hit, like he said, after it was a dirty hit, he could have pulled up. It's hard to do that. This is a divisional rivalry game. You going full speed. I think he did let up. His momentum was already going forward. First of all, Trevor Lawrence is running full speed at him. So when he slid, it's like a baseball slide. Your momentum's still going forward. Still going forward. That's a 6'5" body, 230 pound. I don't know. I'm guessing with his weight right now, but I'm guessing he's somewhere around that, right? And he's sliding. Al-Shahir's already going forward. He dips the shoulder, but if you notice, it was forearm. It wasn't the hit that gave Trevor Lawrence the concussion. It was the whiplash effect and his head hitting the turf the way it did. Boom, boom, boom. That's what it was. It was his head hitting the turf. You know what I mean? And that's what it was, y'all. Nothing else. You know what I mean? Like I think he did pull up though, but it's part of football. And you can't be sliding like that and doing these fake slides like Josh Allen because, like, look, Josh Allen pulled a fake slide. I think it was in the Chiefs game. It might have been the Steelers game, to be honest. It might have been against us. I think he pulled a fake slide the last time we played him. 3 or 4 people missed him. They're on Sports Center. Josh Allen with the fake slide. 4 Steeler defenders get duped out on it. So now when we don't hit the quarterback, you put them on Sports Center. They made this amazing play with a fake slide. But then when they going into the slide and we decide to hit and engage, now we're assholes and it's a dirty play. See, I don't get that. And I don't like that. I don't like it. I don't like it. We know how to hit. We know what happened with the hit. We heard what Rex said, but I don't like it. It's very hard to play defense in the NFL nowadays. And they want it like that because they want the offense to be scoring more points. If that's the case, you might as well just line them up and throw bombs all day. You might as well just line them up with no defensive lineman and just count in 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, and then get sacked. That's the way that football is going. And that's because I get it. The player, look, I understand it. I really understand what y'all go through. And I appreciate all my NFL players, ex-players that have played, putting your body and your health on the line for our entertainment. I really do appreciate that. I really do. So all my NFL players out there, if this was able to reach any of y'all, and I appreciate you. I really do. But when I say this, I mean this like we can't keep taking everything out of the sport. We know what's going on with the sport. But the thing is there's so many people that is against things like that. They're willing to move the sport into a national flag football league. They're willing to move it to flag. Matter of fact, there's already a Team USA flag football team. There's already a national flag league. But we're not going. That is whack. I mean, look, I played flag, but that's the beer league flag where dudes just take a shot of Henny on the sideline, drinking beers, got their girls there, got a barbecue going, couple of, couple people selling some hamburgers, hot dogs, but we all out there grown men getting it in, no insurance, no nothing. If that's the case, You might as well start recruiting out of them leagues. Because we play tougher flag football in the area, in the back roads of every town that's out here in the USA than what they playing in the NFL. There's harder hits. I seen it. In New York City, they got a football league to where they're hitting with no pads on. And they ain't getting paid a dime. It's just for the love of the game. But we got professional athletes that are getting paid millions of dollars to play a game. And we just keep making it softer and softer. We know what's going on with that. The people in football that love boxing, y'all don't want to change boxing. Their defense is getting better. You got to protect yourself, right? You know the consequences of what's going on. You know what the game you play. You know you might get broken bones and concussions. You know that's part of the game. That's what come with it. Will the money ever change in it? I don't know. I don't know will the money change. I do think that they should be getting paid guaranteed contracts for this sport. I do think that. But when we got so many different people complaining about it, it's just making the game softer. You cannot let up in that situation, because if that's a fake slide, which it wasn't, he's getting put on Sports Center. I think the punishment was too harsh. I think they took it a little bit overboard. Divisional rivalry game, and shit like that happens. Period. But I did pick the Texans to win that game. I think if Trevor Lawrence would have been in that game, I think that the Jags may able to have been pulling out the game off. But Mac Jones don't look too bad at quarterback over there with the Jaguars. There's that offense still moves. I just think Trevor Lawrence adds another element to that game, as you can see, running. But the Texans are tough, and they're hanging on by a thread, even in this sophomore season of CJ Stroud and everybody having film. It's going to get tougher for him. But they got one of the best running backs in the NFL, Joe Mixon. He's one of the best. And look, they're climbing up there. I did get that pick right, though. But I had to add some things upon that because I just wasn't feeling that all the way. I wasn't. Moving on. Seattle Seahawks taking on the New York Jets over in New York. And this was a great game. I thought this was a great game right here. Awesome, man. Look, when I seen this one, I said to myself, man, I said, wow. I'm like, wow, Aaron Rodgers is really out there doing this thing today. But he wasn't. You got a great, like Aaron Rodgers. I think they both were damn near under 200. Geno Smith only threw for 206 yards, 20 for 31. If you're going to get, I'm gonna say this, yo. If these quarterbacks in the NFL are throwing for less than 200 yards a game and getting paid millions, I wonder what Shador and Cam Ward is going to get paid in the NFL. Because I think they could drop 250 and they sleep. Yes, against this elite talent. I'm going to say it. I just don't see how you get these guys who are Aaron Rodgers been in the league long. He's league longer than some of my babies. Like, I mean, let's call it what it is. Been in the league forever. Geno Smith has been around forever too. Starting wise, no. So his span has shortened. He hasn't played. He don't got the miles on his body. He's starting to get them. But he threw for 206, 1 touchdown. You got receivers Jackson Smith and Jigba. You got DK Metcalf, Noah Fant at tight end, Tyler Lockett on the outside. And you throw for 206? What are we talking about? You got Aaron Rodgers on the other half. He has Devontae Adams, Garrett Wilson, Tyler Conklin. These are all guys who made plays. I don't care what y'all talking about. Breece Hall, running back, catch out of the backfield. And you throw for 185? Oh, but it was the coach. They got the head coach up out of there. They got the offensive coordinator up out of there. The Jets don't know what they want to do. Getting rid of Aaron Rodgers might be the best thing that happened to that team. Aaron Rodgers got to hang it up now. Look, I hate the way that Aaron Rodgers is walking off, man. I hate it. I absolutely hate it. I do, because Aaron Rodgers, AR-15 over there playing when we used to watch AR, right? We watch AR over there in Green Bay. Great games, phenomenal games, games that have forever be etched in our memory. Since the first time we seen them step on that field for Green Bay, them beating us, they beat the Pittsburgh Steelers in the Super Bowl. Aaron Rodgers is just great quarterback. He's been great in Green Bay. The Green Bay is always going to love him. His best football to me was played in Green Bay. Now he's up in New York. I don't want to say age has gotten him, but I do think that a little bit of his ways has gotten to him. If you like, at the same time, we're never too old to learn. Never. We're never too old to learn anything. I hate the way that he's got to walk off the football field in these last couple of years. We're going to remember him by, you know what I'm saying? Finishing a season that was possibly one of his worst. I don't like that at all. I don't like it. I hate it. In fact, especially for Aaron Rodgers, I hate it. And I don't like it. I don't like it the way that Aaron Rodgers got to walk off in this. But the decisions that he's made to help people get out of office, head coaches going around being fired, it's just that organization has gone upside down since he's got there. Zach Wilson can do the same thing. He could have done the same thing. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. If you put guys, gave Zach Wilson, the receivers, Devontae Adams, Garrett Wilson, Conklin around him, I think, yeah, no doubt in my mind, Zach Wilson could do that. You don't got to believe me. Nobody believed me when I said Bo Nix was going to be good with Sean Payton. And now look at Bo Nix. We're sitting here saying that him and Jaden Daniels is neck and neck for Offensive Rookie of the Year without mentioning Brock Bowers. But Zach Wilson is also the backup quarterback over there. A quarterback guy who knows quarterbacks absolutely took him under his wing, said, sit and watch and learn. All right. Enough said. I don't need to say not much more in that one. Got the pick right. Don't really like what's going on over there in New York, though. I don't like it. Moving on. My Steelers. Here we go. Steelers and the Bengals. Of course, I got that right. I'm biased with that pick. However, I'm not gonna be biased every time. We owe the Browns. I do think that we're gonna get the Browns in our matchup this week because we owe them. We owe them one. I think that Jameis Winston, they're playing for him incredibly good. And I think some things may happen, but we owe them one, and we're at home. The dog pound was absolutely horrendous to us, and that's the way they're supposed to be. But we're going to return the favor to y'all when they come up to Acrisure Stadium. Still getting used to saying that. Because I seen it go from Three Rivers to Hines to now Acrisure. So, it was getting used to Hines was one thing. But now it's Acrisure Stadium. And now, look, it is what it is. But yeah, I got that pick right. But I was biased with that. It was a great game to me. Two high power offenses. I already broke this game down a lot of it, but y'all know why I went with my Steelers. I'm not gonna sit here and break that game down again, but I will talk about this one, and that is yes, sir, got to. I took the Washington Commanders, Jaden Daniels, out when he played against my team. See, you know how sometimes you could talk about somebody, right? In the way that they're playing. But any football fan knows this. But when they play your team, and you know what your team can do and what your team is capable of, and the areas they struggle in. And when I seen him play the Steelers, I seen him play all year, and I knew he was phenomenal, right? But what he did against us and the way that he played against, I'm like, I don't see how anybody can stop this team moving forward. The and I told a lot of Commanders fans this, by the way. I did that in preseason. The Commanders, I thought they did the best in the draft. I thought that they were gonna have a good season. I did. And I told a Commanders fan, actual barber, just a quick little story. A barber friend of mine. I'm cool with a lot of barbers in my local barber shop, as everybody should. I tip them very well when they're taking care of me and my boy's head, and as y'all should. But they like an extension of family to me, the barbershop is. Shout out to Master Barbers in Erie, PA. They're like an extension of family to me. You know, sometimes I just go there just to chop it up with the fellas. Barbershop talk, right? What goes on in the barbershop stays at the barbershop. You heard me? You don't go home and tell nobody what happens at the barbershop. It stays right at the barbershop. When you go in the barbershop, you enter a different person. When you leave the different person. You know what I'm saying? You remain the same, but you dig what I'm saying? It is a fine line. But y'all understand what I'm talking about. The real ones understand what I'm talking about. Anyhow, he's a Washington Commanders fan, Washington Redskins fan. I hate saying Commanders. I hate saying Commanders. I'm so glad they're getting that name back. The Redskins. It's been there forever. Matter of fact, I know some natives, Skanuganet. Y'all don't even know what that means. That's some gangster Indian shit right there. Skanuganet. You feel what I'm saying? Like y'all, like they know what I'm talking about. My gangster natives out there know exactly what I just said, and they know what I'm talking about. That's because I'm not no sucker. You heard me? So anyway, they love the Redskins. They love the Redskins. They love the Redskins. It is the Redskins, that name to the natives. Let me explain this to a lot of people out there that be so sensitive. This is how the natives take the Redskins. It's like calling a white person a redneck, a native a redskin. The Missouri Rednecks, Washington Redskins. You dig what I'm saying? You dig what I'm saying? No, it's no different than that. That's all I wanted to say, and keep it like that. But that's what that is. But I always been, I don't know why I've been attracted to Washington. I don't know why. Like, if ever since they never really been good growing up, but it was always something about Washington that like wanted me to make me want to root for them, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just, I don't know, like, it's weird to say, but it just is. I can't explain. I can't even explain it. And when I'll have to explain it to y'all one day, but right now I just can't. But the Commanders, the Redskins put the beats on the Titans. I knew that they both would go over in this game. I think they did go over their perspective over targets. Jaden Daniels had 206 yards passing, 3 touchdowns, 1 interception. Will Levis had 212 yards passing, 2 touchdowns. They both look all right to me. They both look all right to me. I ain't even gonna lie. Brian Robinson Jr. had a hell of a football game. He had 16 carries, 133 yards. I didn't think he would get that. I didn't honestly think he would get that, but I mean, because the Titans defense has been very stingy. That run defense has been very stingy against other teams, but that just goes to show you how good the Commanders is and how well, like, you got everybody out there getting a piece of the ball when Jaden Daniels is at quarterback. He's a beast. Jaden Daniels is the truth. He's the truth. I even like Washington Redskins even more now that um the change of ownership. I even like them more now, to be honest. They're good in my book. I really like them, man. I really like what they got going on. I'm not even gonna front. But I did get that pick right also. Must say, I love it. I love it. I love it. The Vikings at home versus the Cardinals. Yeah, that was a good one. That was a good one. That was definitely a good game. I like came down to the wire. I must say, man, I'm a short guy, but I thought that Kyler Murray would be struggling a whole lot more in this offense, and he just has not been struggling in this offense at all. They're 6-6. Um, and I must say that they're a tough 6-6. They are a tough 6-6 football team, man. Trey McBride coming from North Dakota State, tight end, is one of the best tight ends in football, period. It's not about where you go. You can get eyes on you. It's about how hard you train in the right facilities to learn. And I tell you what, North Dakota and South Dakota State both have a lot of guys in the NFL that are ready to play. They got a lot of people in the NFL. They do. Um, and they're doing the right things. I really think that Trey Lance got the short end of the stick ending up in Dallas. I don't know why. I like. I mean, he look. Dallas seen something, so they traded him from San Fran. He got hurt, and really, I honestly think that he was just trying to overcompensate and kill the noise with the critics. But I think by now, him sitting in the background for a couple of years, I think a lot's changed with him mentally. And if anything, I think he's a great quarterback out there right now, sitting and not being played. I think that Trey Lance, look, he had a bad preseason, trying to force a lot of things. I like he's in a spot in his life that's not fun to be in, right? And I couldn't imagine it being fun. The whole world looking at you, being in the spotlight, and you just are used to being the small town hero, and you're now the big town mainstream in everybody's face and supposed to be doing so many different things, right? Use what you got. Use what you got. You know, I hate giving up on people like that, especially people that have worked so hard for their life. But I still think that he's a diamond in the rough out there, and that he'll end up in the right situation with the right team. Excuse me. Yeah, I'm back. Oh man, this weather, man. I tell you what, this weather has been absolutely just horrendous to me, man. Um, but like in this game, I thought that they played pretty good, man. The both quarterbacks they did good. Sam Darnold, he was one of those guys that came from nothing and now has risen to the occasion with a new team and got comfortable. Ended up in a very good situation with the Vikings and leading the Vikings the way that he is, and now they're at a 10-2 record. And Sam Darnold is about to be in the playoffs. Sam Darnold is about to be in the playoffs. If anybody can relate to Trey Lance, it's Sam Darnold. Sam Darnold struggled his first couple of years in the NFL. Um, Coming out of college was being one of the best quarterbacks in college football, and now years later, stayed true to his craft, kept his head down, got his mind right, and is now a quarterback who he looking like himself. Period. Period. And Kyler Murray, shout out to him, still doing this thing, 260 yards, one touchdown, but he had two interceptions in that game, and he turned the ball over, and they lost. But I did get that pick right. But they only won by 1 point. The Vikings did. The Vikings won by 1 point, but I did get it right nonetheless. So, I and and call it what you want, but I definitely picked them, right? Being at home, that may have helped them. And I said that. The Buccaneers played the Panthers. Man, he's gotten a lot better, man. You look, man, he is showing his ass. Bryce Young is showing his ass, bro. He's looking like the quarterback that they meant to take out of the draft. Getting better, maturing, um, and they still they got a veteran receiver like Adam Thielen, right? He needed that on the outside. Boy, oh boy, would I love to have Thielen right now. He's just so smart, right? Adam Thielen is smart, great route runner, and is very smart. And that's exactly what Bryce Young needed. Some veteranship at the wide receiver position. And I think he got that. Xavier Leggett has to have sure hands like how he did in college. Gotta and play his game. Because I think Xavier Leggett is a weapon that Carolina hasn't even seen yet. I don't think the NFL has been introduced to Xavier Leggett just yet, but I think they will be. I think they will be. Um, Baker Mayfield, another one of those quarterbacks. I know Cleveland kicked man. I'm so happy he ain't in our division no more. I'm so happy. I'm happy for Cleveland not letting Baker Mayfield in the division. I liked him when he played for the Browns. It's crazy because I want to beat him, but then I'm looking at Baker like, how could I hate this dude? Like, you know what I mean? Like, how? Y'all let him slide up out there for some diva receiver that y'all don't even got. And now he got Tampa Bay looking like they want to go and slide up and being another NFC wild card playoff position. But y'all got one. Y'all got Jameis. Y'all got Jameis though. Bucky Irving from Oregon, 25 carries, 152 yards, and a tutty, doing this thing. Mike Evans still. That's why I like Mike Evans. He's going, like Hall of Fame, bro. Still being one of the top receivers in the game. Still 118 yards and a touchdown, 8 receptions. Phenomenal. Phenomenal. But very good football game on both sides, man. On both sides, it was a very good football game. Well about went to overtime and the Buccaneers pulled it off. But I did get that pick right nonetheless. Very good football game, though, I must say. Very good. Moving on. Philly and Baltimore. No, I did not take Philly because of Baltimore. Because of the Ravens. I just say because me being a Steeler fan, I did not take them because of that. I took Philly because I thought Philly had the better team. The Ravens defense is a problem. The Ravens defense is a problem. Um, and in this game, they didn't attack the secondary as much as we thought it would be. I thought that they should have tried to get Saquon Barkley going a lot more than what they were. Um, as soon as Jalen Hurts figured out the read option, should I keep it or should I hand the ball off? As soon as he figured that out, the offense started moving a lot better. I don't think Lamar Jackson should. I don't think he like played his best. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, he got a big run, but I think he should have put them on a little bit more ice on that. Derrick Henry, yeah, he had 82 yards in that game. He was averaging 4.3 yards a carry in that game. I thought that Lamar tried to spread the ball around a little bit. Nelson Aguilar did not help. He still needs another receiver in Baltimore. I think on that offense, I think they need another receiver to be honest. But the DBs, you thought that when that game would go there, it was just a smash mouth game. They got two of the best quarterbacks. I mean, well, two of the most known quarterbacks in the NFL. I would say that because Jalen Hurts is a professional quarterback. He threw less than 20 passes in the game, 118 yards, a touchdown. He didn't turn the ball over, but still, they getting paid all this kind of bread, and it's all this money to throw for 120 yards a game. Like, that's crazy. I mean, granted, he does not, who are some of these receivers that's in his, and I mean, on his team? Like, who are some of these guys? He's missing the Slim Reaper. That's gonna hurt him, right now. Hopefully they get him back come playoff time, but their defense was the outcome. You got Jalen Carter and Josh Sweat, Nolan Smith, Isaiah Rogers, Tristan McCullum, Jacoby Dean, Jack Bond, Cooper DeJean. Their defense over there at Philly's crazy, but then they got the best running back in the NFL in their team is Saquon Barkley. Like, Saquon Barkley showed the difference between him and Derrick Henry. Period. A big back like Derrick Henry can still get it done. Derrick Henry can still get it done. He's a baller. I'm not gonna lie, he's a baller. But also in that game, it didn't help that Tucker missed like 4 or 5 field goals that game. Didn't help. I think that the Ravens probably would have won that game had he made. I don't know how many he missed. I'm just going off top of my head. I think it was three or four that he may have made. I know 3 for sure. But he missed a lot of field goals. You add those 9 points to that total, they win. The Ravens win that game. All field goals or not, so what? They win it. But the Eagles, they pulled it off like I thought they would. Like I said, I thought they were the better, well-rounded team. I just named a lot on that defense. And they came to play. And we got to see the Eagles, and they're tough. We got to see the Eagles. I tell you what, Jalen Hurts is not going to beat us. Saquon and Jalen Hurts is not going to beat us. That's how I feel. That's exactly how I feel. He's going to have to pass. He's going to have to pass against us. So I hope he's ready for that. We got them after the Browns, the week after the Browns, and we'll be ready for that. I believe so. But I did get that pick right. Nonetheless. So I think so far, damn, I only missed one. Oh, yeah. The Bills and at San Fran. I get a little bit biased with the Bills, just a little bit. I got a lot of family members that are Bills, a lot of supporters that are Bills. But I think it's more family members that's the Bills, and it made me take. But I know a lot more about the Bills. Like, I think the Bills, the Eagles, the Steelers. I know a lot about those football teams. I got whole lot. And when I look at the Buffalo Bills, I've seen and I talked to a family member earlier this year, and I told y'all the conversation preseason when a lot of people, the Bills, they're building back, they're not going to be this, they're not going to be that. They just got rid of Stephon Diggs. I said, look, they got young at the right time. When you got a quarterback like Josh Allen, you could take those chances, right? Josh Allen has proven he can make other guys look good. Just get me some decent rookies, and I'm gonna make these guys show up. I'm gonna put it on them. Period. And it helps when you also got a running back like James Cook, Delvin Cook's little brother, and he's able to run for 14 carries and 107 yards, even though this game was snowed out, because that's what they had to do. But and so I in this particular game, I don't fault Brock Purdy throwing for 94 yards and Josh Allen throwing for 148. This game wasn't meant for a lot of passing. It was snowing. We have been blocked in out here like crazy, cars buried in snow. I should have took pictures. I be forgetting to do things like that on social media though. You know what I'm saying? That's a little personal, and sometimes it's hard for me to cross that line. Social media, this is what you get from me breaking down on the sports and jumping in front of on my mic. But sometimes I'll take pictures, sometimes I won't. Got to get better with that, right? But yeah, we're snowed in. You know what I'm saying? I got a Jeep Cherokee, and it was completely covered front to back, the street. You know what I'm saying? It set up a little high and completely covered. If you got one of those little electric cars, you couldn't even see it. You couldn't even see it. Period. Snow plow coming down the street, even buried it in even more. It took people literally 2 days to dig their cars out so that we can move. Yesterday, we just got finished being able to dig our cars out. The roadways were so packed. We've been in a state of emergency for the past couple of days up here on the snow belt, which is Buffalo, Erie, Pennsylvania, Cleveland, along Lake Erie. We get that lake effect snow, and it just has it didn't stop. I think it started Thanksgiving night, and it just didn't. It just stopped literally last night. Last night it literally just stopped snowing, but we began ongoing snow. We got smacked. It's like 6 feet. Like I said, my trampoline was literally looked like it been put down in ground of the snow. The kids' trampoline. It's about 4 feet. It stands about 4 feet off the ground. But you look at my backyard, it just looked flat. It just looked flat, period. The kids had a ball out there. They built like they walked through it, built like a little snow fort. Still out there, pretty cool looking, you know what I mean? But it was just a lot of snow, too much snow. So I know they got a lot during that game. And the Bills came out to play. They're 10-2 right now. I thought that they would win that game. They look really good. And I can't be proud. I couldn't be more proud of them, man. What they're doing and how they're playing this game, bro. They're really coming to play. They really scared. They you know what? They don't scare me because I feel like we got what it takes to take the Bills out, but the Bills also got what they need to take the Steelers out. So I think that'd be a very good matchup. If and when we do see this matchup, I think it'll be a very good one. Nonetheless, I really do. I think both teams are built to play each other, to add and get in Amari Cooper to that wide receiving core, a little bit of veteran leadership there, somebody who is not um selfish. You know what I'm saying? Somebody who understands the concepts of routes and getting the open man and winning games means more to him to getting the ball. And I honestly think that may have even saved the Texans season. I hate to say Stephon Diggs going down may have helped their season a lot. I'll get into that a little bit after at the end of this video, towards the end. Um, but yeah, the Bills, I picked that game. I got that one right also. Now, this next one, bam, I got that right too. I missed one game. Out of the ones that I picked from, um, that's pretty damn good. That's pretty damn good. Um, the Broncos, they look, man, they have been playing outstanding ball. When we played them, I thought that they called back one of our touchdowns. That may have hurt. There was some funny calls and on both sides with the Broncos and Steelers matchup. So if you're a Broncos fan, I feel you. But y'all also remember that they called back a touchdown too, right? So I think that that's a matchup we may even see. I always look, the Broncos beating us. Tim Tebow, Demaryius Thomas. I'll never forget that play, bro. In the playoffs, I don't think that we were really ready to go to the playoffs that year. I think we just made it in with the skin of our teeth. But to win like that was crazy to me. Crazy. Jerry Jeudy went absolutely nuts he went nuts. Crazy. And pause. He went crazy. 9 receptions for 235 yards and a touchdown. Marvin Mims had 3 receptions, 105 yards. Jaleel McLaughlin went off. I thought that it was crazy to me because Jerome Ford should have got the ball more. They should have stuck with Jerome Ford in that game, number one, and they should have ran the ball more. They put too much on Jameis. Too much. He passed 58 times. I understand they were playing from behind, but I think they were down by a point or up a point, something like that. I can't remember how it exactly went. But they should have ran the ball with Jerome Ford a lot more. Not because I would have won in my FanDuel props because I got to it late and they absolutely sold me because everybody else was over besides Jerome Ford. But it also helped me look at the game in different perspective. They should have ran the ball more. They got too one-dimensional with Jameis Winston. Not to say that he isn't a good quarterback. He even accidentally made up a play during the game. But no matter what, even late in the game on the line, Coach Sean Payton called runs with Jaleel McLaughlin, and he had the hot hand for the Broncos, and it worked. Now, Jerome Ford was absolutely killing the Broncos. They did stop him on a couple of plays, but he was absolutely killing the Broncos. And I know the Broncos fans was like, man, this Ford cat, where did he come from? You know what I'm saying? Like, for real. I know that's what they were saying. But they didn't run the ball enough. I think so. They just didn't. He needed at least 5 more carries. Maybe even 8. Maybe even 8 more carries. And Nick Chubb he didn't have the hot hand in that game at all. It was a heavy box when he was in there, but put too much pressure on Jameis, man. Too much, I think, in that game. And he almost threw for 500 yards. He was 3 yards short of 500 in that game. Spread the ball around pretty well to everybody, but they didn't do it, man. And I think that's what hurt the Browns. But shout out to the Browns, man, because they don't play like a 3-9 team. And the Broncos are playing like an 8-5 team. And by the way, the Broncos in that division right now is probably going crazy. That AFC West is going to be a fight. You got the Broncos on a 3-game winning streak right now, and they're 8-5. The Chargers are 8-4, and the Chiefs are 11-1. Great division. Our division's even closer. The Bengals are 4-8. Well, they're 4-8. Browns 3-9, but they're playing really tough. You ain't just gonna get an easy win, right? But what I meant closer is with the Ravens and the Steelers. So you got the Ravens at 8-5, and you got us at 9-3. So it's probably gonna go down, bro. Probably gonna go down. But I did get that pick right, and I think that's all for all the picks and all the recaps. But to go through the standings just real quick, real fast, got the Bills sitting at the top of the AFC East. I think they they clinched, didn't they? One more win, they clinched the division. They're on a 7-game winning streak. They're 6-0 at home. You can't beat them in Buffalo. And I think one more game, the Bills clinch the division. One more game, especially I think they clinched with a win or a Dolphins and a Jets loss. That division is absolutely horrendous. I thought the Dolphins would be playing a lot better than what they're playing right now, sitting at 5-7. The Jets are sitting at 3-9. The Patriots are sitting at 3-10. Rookie quarterback. That's one rookie quarterback team. And I think that is nobody's upset that the Patriots are playing like that, and they're still getting the full support of their fans. They knew that it was going to be rough this year, that they're rebuilding that team. But watch out for the Patriots in the future. I think that organization is going to absolutely bounce back with Drake May at the helm at quarterback. Their division is going to get back to prominence. I want to see what the Jets do in the draft. They need a nice quarterback. I think Jackson Dart is what the Jets need, man. I think Jackson Dart is their guy. What y'all think? Tell me down in the comments what y'all think. I think Jackson Dart with the Jets. I think that's a good pickup for them. I don't see Shedeur going up to New York Jets. I don't see him going to the Jets, but I think Jackson Dart might be more their speed. I think Shedeur is going to the Raiders. They're 2-10. Him in a division with Bo Nix, Patrick Mahomes, Justin Herbert, Shedeur Sanders. That those four quarterbacks, that division will probably be that'll put the AFC West back on the map. Absolutely. I think that makes the most sense. But the Raiders sitting at 2-10 right now. The Broncos 8-5, Chargers 8-4, Chiefs 11-1. I think that they 3 teams out of division can absolutely make the playoffs. The Chiefs has to keep playing. So for their division, because it's not locked up just yet. It's not locked up just yet, especially if the Broncos and the Chargers continue on winning their games. That is what it is, right? And just to see, I just want to just to see who the Broncos may have up next. I think they already got their schedule, but let's go to the games real quick. Who do they have next? They got the Colts, the Chargers, the Bengals, and then they close out with the Chiefs. So they got a tough 4-game stretch. I think they could get the Colts. The Chargers, that game is going to go down. That means a lot on December 19th. I think they can get the Bengals. I don't know if they beat the Chiefs, but I think they could get the Chiefs too. That's a divisional game, so they're familiar with them. The Broncos are a tough team. They're a very tough team. I will not put it past them to do that. And I know who we have left. We do play the Ravens, so they will have the chance to get their chance back. But we got them up by 2 games right now, so I do think that we play out the rest of the season really tough. Unless we clinch. Once we clinch a playoff berth, I think that's when we sit our starters, like I said. But the Bengals sitting at 4-8, the Browns sitting at 3-9. The Texans are 8-5. They look like seem to be the only team right now. The Colts have to win out. They can finish off 10-7. They have to win out. Let me see who they have left. The Texans have the Colts have the Broncos. They have to win. They have to win out. They got the Broncos is make or break season for them. I don't know if you get into the playoffs 9-8. I've seen it done, but it looks like I think you can get in the playoffs, sneak in there. I think they may be able to sneak in there, but they got to win out to stay safe. They have to win out because it's really tight. We just went through the whole standings. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's 4 spots. 5, 6. Yeah, it's really tough. So they got and then I don't even think you get it was 7. So yeah, they gotta win out. They can't afford to lose a game right now. And you got the Titans sitting at 3-9. Didn't expect them to be there this year. I guess you could say you get kind of dead. The Jaguars, quiet as kept. Like, what do the Jaguars do? Like 2-10 on the season. Where do they go for a first round pick? That's interesting. I think I'm gonna have to go back with the next video, but into the next one, y'all, man. I appreciate everybody out there listening. I've been going on for an hour. Those was my NFL picks for the week, dog. Salute to everybody up out there. Peace. Another